You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode 145. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In this episode, I'm going to talk about what I call playing the long game and how this is going to be a concept to understand whenever you are committing yourself to a goal for the long run. Now, one of the reasons why many people struggle with goals and they want to give up is not because the goal is hard, but it's because of the expectations that they're putting on themselves and also on the goal that they have. So I want to kick this off with this idea that the best games that you can play in life, they can't be won. They can only be played. For example, you don't ever win at marriage, right? There's no point where you've won at marriage. The point of the marriage is to keep the marriage going. So the game never ends. Similarly, when it comes to your health, you don't one day win at health. The point is to stay healthy and stay in shape. And when it comes to business, you don't get to a point where you win at business. The whole point is to stay in business and keep the game going. So I found that when you can release your need to achieve a certain outcome and instead fall in love with the process, this is one of the secrets to getting so much farther in life and enjoying the ride without getting disappointed every step of the way. And a lot of you are coaches or aspiring coaches, and this concept of playing the long game is really crucial for you because, to keep it real with you, life coaching is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you're looking to make money fast, then this is not an industry for you to jump in. I really don't think that is a healthy approach to take with any decision when you're wondering, how can I get rich quick? The most successful coaches that I've seen are the coaches that are playing the long game when it comes to their business. They are excited about their success. They believe their success is inevitable, but they're not attached to how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. They find a way to enjoy the process. They find a way to embrace the highs and the lows. One of the metaphors that I love teaching our coaches about in the academy is this idea of planting a garden. So like when you plant a garden, right, you start out by planting the seeds and then you have to nurture your garden. You've got to water the seeds, and over time, everything will start to sprout and bloom and blossom. But when you throw seeds into the ground and a few minutes later, you get frustrated and upset because you don't see a full garden in bloom, this is what leads to disappointment. And this is the exact same thing that happens when you've been approaching your coaching business for a few weeks or a few months and you haven't gotten clients yet. It's like the seeds are still in the ground. They just haven't sprouted yet. And a lot of coaches, unfortunately, especially if they don't have proper training and the right community to support them, a lot of coaches out there, they give up right before those seeds are about to sprout. So see your goals, those long-term goals in your life, as you are planting the seeds in the garden. And the same day that you plant the seeds are not the same day that you will enjoy the fruits, and you will be able to see that. You can't expect that to happen all in the same day. Now, if you are thinking thoughts as a coach, like I should have clients by now, or if maybe you're looking to lose weight and you're thinking, I should have lost weight by now, right? These are thoughts that are going to drain you. Or if you're thinking about any goal, why is this taking so long? Why is this going so slowly? I should have results right now. These are all really, really dangerous thoughts to have. And you've got to notice when those come up for you, because that is what's making the process hard. That's what's creating your disappointment, not the reality. Okay, so it's like if you're at an amusement park and you're waiting in line for a roller coaster and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this line is taking forever. The reason why you are feeling so frustrated is because you're thinking about how the line should be moving faster, right? That's why you're so frustrated. The roller coaster is not going anywhere. You're just on this line and you're going to be on it. You're going to have your spot on it. But the reason why it's so dreadful to wait on the line is because of all of your thoughts. It's thinking this line should be going faster. The more you focus on that, the more you're going to be miserable. Now, when I got started as a coach, I was really starting from scratch. I didn't have a large network. I didn't have all this money. I didn't have connections. I really was starting from scratch, didn't have an MBA. I just had the calling to inspire and help people. I had this dream to start my own coaching business and to make an impact on people's lives. And I had this strong desire to have a life where I had freedom and flexibility to travel and be able to work on my own terms and decide my own schedule and decide what I want to create and the contribution I want to make on the planet. So that was what drove me. It was being able to have this lifestyle and help people in the way that I wanted to help them. And even though I had all of this desire, I didn't make any money in my first year as a coach. I didn't make anything. I made a ton of mistakes. I had no idea what to do. And it wasn't until that second and third year when I started to see clients start paying me to work with them. It didn't just take off magically because I wanted it or because I started taking action, right? It took off because I was consistent and I was playing the long game. I told myself, I am in this for the long haul. I'm not going to quit. This is what I feel. It's more than just a desire. It's really a calling. And I feel it's my moral obligation to help people as a coach. So I want to go over some of the reasons why some people struggle with playing the long game and how to overcome those struggles. One of the biggest reasons why people struggle is entitlement. And entitlement is when you think, I deserve a result because I want the result. I deserve it because I want it. And it's not your fault if you've ever had this come up for you. I've definitely had some entitlement come up for me where I think, but I want it so badly, so why don't I have it? Right? That's not how life works. You are not entitled to get something just because you want it. So just because you want to have a thriving coaching business, or you want to have a better body, or you want to have a certain relationship, simply wanting it and simply desiring it and dreaming about it does not in any way bring you closer to having it, nor does it make you any more entitled to having it. And there's a lot of idea out there that in order to get something in life, in order to quote, manifest something, you need to think about it a lot. And I actually think this could cause a lot of damage for people mentally and emotionally, because when you think that by wanting something badly enough that it makes you more likely to get it, this doesn't make you more likely to get it. It just makes you more entitled. And this is what creates resentment and frustration and disappointment. So you don't get something because you simply want it, right? There's a lot of people out there that want to be their own boss and want to have their own successful business, that want to be successful coaches, that want to have a certain body. There's plenty of people that want those things, but not everyone has those things, those outcomes. And the reason is because there are people out there that think wanting it is enough. And then there are people out there that realize it's going to require action, it requires patience, and it requires consistency. So if you give up on your goals too soon, or just when it starts to get hard or challenging, then I want you to consider, how are you going to also be there for your clients when they want to give up on their goals or when it starts to get difficult, right? It's normal for there to be challenge, for things to not go as originally planned. It's normal for these things to happen, but what's not normal is for you to just give up or be frustrated and start to question why you're not getting results as fast as you believe you're entitled to getting those results. Okay, so it's really important to know that just because you want something doesn't mean that you are owed it. No one owes you anything. Your dedication, your commitment, your action, your consistency, and your patience, these are the qualities that are going to move you forward, not entitlement. Now, the second issue that a lot of individuals face that keeps them from playing the long game is this need for instant gratification. So this is when you think, when you want something, you want it now. So I want it and I want it right now. And, there are many areas of our life that have become so convenient where it's become faster than ever to get certain things, right? Our lives have become more convenient than ever before. And in many ways that's great, but I'm ready for drones to start delivering things to our houses the second that you order something online. I am ready for the drones to create a way for delivery within 1 hour. And I remember though when it was such a big deal to have that 2-day delivery, like Amazon Prime. But it's almost like now 2 days is not even enough. We want things even faster. And this is just natural and evolution of society and in our technology. And it's not a bad thing, but it becomes a bad thing when we think that we always should get something right away. And we need to have that instant satisfaction and instant gratification. One of the quotes I really love is the quote that goes like this: most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year, and they underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. Let me say it one more time, because once I heard that, I had to hear it a few times for it to sink in. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year. Okay, so they think they can achieve much more in a year than they actually do. And they underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years. So they don't really understand how big of results they can achieve within a longer period of time. And I think it's because of this need for instant gratification. Okay. A lot of people are overly ambitious and set these overly ambitious expectations for what they can accomplish in a single year. Okay. A lot of people underestimate the time and the effort that's required to start getting extraordinary results. And it's very easy to get caught up in this excitement when you're starting something new or pursuing a goal, to have these expectations that ultimately lead to frustration if you don't see them happen in that first year. So a lot of people get discouraged in the first few months or the first year, and they just give up altogether. They just throw in the towel. But on the other hand, that quote that I shared earlier, it also emphasizes how people underestimate what they can achieve over an extended or a longer period of time, such as 10 years. Now, long-term goals often require consistent effort, more perseverance, and the incremental progress over time. It's not as sexy as the stories that you might hear of a quote, overnight success, or someone that made millions of dollars in a week or in a month. You probably hear those stories, and then you start thinking, oh, okay, well, that's how it must be. And that's what I want. And that's what I feel entitled to. And I want that right now. Okay. When you underestimate the cumulative effect of all of the small and daily actions that you take, you miss out on what you're capable of. You miss out on those extraordinary results. So this podcast, for example, and I've had many podcasts before, even before I was training coaches. Okay. It wasn't the first episode started to generate clients. I knew when I was creating a podcast, okay, I care so much about helping people. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm going to keep making episodes. And it was the consistent action of just releasing episodes little by little, creating value for people. That value accumulates and grows over time. It's like the seeds, nurturing the garden, the seeds that are in the soil. And then eventually they start to sprout and bloom. And then I reap the rewards of that. I enjoy the harvest. And then I plant new seeds and I keep going. And it's just the seasons of life of our year. You go through those seasons. You tend to your garden. You trust in the divine timing and the divine order of all things. I used to be someone that really struggled with having patience, and I would be very frustrated because I didn't know if things would really work out. And now, as I've been in business for a decade now, I realize things always work out when you stay consistent, when you continue to show up and you take those small steps. A lot of people think that you have to be 100% or you're not going to get the results you want. You have to sacrifice every other commitment or priority in your life in order to get results. No, you will get so much farther just by devoting even 1% a day, doing one little action every single day. This is what's going to get you so much farther. It's the cumulative effect of the small daily actions that lead you to that large transformation in the long run. So after my first year of not getting any results, now in retrospect, I see, I was just planting an amazing garden full of seeds. I was taking action in that first year. I wasn't just sitting around hoping and praying things would work out. I was still connecting with people. I was still putting value out there. I was learning. That was my time when I was planting the seeds of the garden, and I was watering the garden and tending to it. Okay. So this is so important for you to understand. This is the second big issue that a lot of people have. They expect that instant gratification. Remember, the actions that you take now, this is like a really great way to see all of your goals. The actions that you take right now are not for right now. They are for your future. They are for your future. Okay, so like I'll give you like an example with this podcast again. When I make episodes right now, I don't see that as, okay, this is going to help attract students to our school right now. I actually see it as that I am right now creating a garden that will grow and bloom into students who show up in the future. So another way to see it is all the success that you have right now in your life is a result of the actions that you've taken in the previous chapter. Right? So all of the amazing success that I've been experiencing this year that we've had with the Academy, I don't really see that as a manifestation of the actions I've taken in this season or even this year. I see it as more of the results of the last year and the year before. And I know this is true because we have many students who will say, oh my gosh, I've been following the podcast for years, or I've been, in your space for a long time now, and I'm eager to now jump in. I want you to really take that in and know how that can be true for you. Because I know a lot of you, you're in that infancy stage of running your business, and maybe you've started your own podcast, or you've started a social media channel. You have started doing workshops. You've put yourself out there in a certain way. You've started networking, whatever it is that you've done, and you're questioning, is it working? Is it working? Is it working? Is it working? Stop questioning that. Know that everything that you do is working, and it will first work on you before it works for you, which I talked about in another episode. So everything that you're doing is working. Just don't think that the actions that you're taking are for now. The actions you take now are actually for your future. So don't see your actions as something that you need to get an immediate result from. And imagine if I just gave up on like this podcast, for example. We have these students who say, I've been following you for months, for years, etc. Imagine if I just disappeared during that time because I said, well, I guess it's not working. There's nothing that's happening. Like right now, your efforts that you've been putting in, or that you're going to start putting into your business, because hopefully this episode's giving you that nudge, these actions that you are taking, they're working. Right? And I promise you, you're going to have clients, you're going to have those results start to show up, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, it was all worth it. It was all worth it. It paid off to be patient. It paid off to play the long game. There is so much power in consistency. So much power in consistency. So when you can stay committed to you can play the long game, right? You're going to see a compounding effect of your actions over time. Everything that you do, it's having a compounding effect over time. It's like when people say that you make certain investments, that the return usually might start out slow, or sometimes it starts out negative, right? But then over time, as you wait a certain number of years, generally what happens is you see a compounding effect from financial investments. Okay. So this podcast, it wasn't until maybe like 15 or 20 episodes until I started having people reach out and say, you know what, I'm interested. I love this podcast. I've gotten so much value, and I want to join Thriving Coach Academy. But imagine if the first 5 or 10 episodes, I was like, oh, nothing's happening. I'm out. I would have missed out. I would have left behind an amazing garden that was right there. Okay. So it's so important to stay consistent, to give yourself grace in this process, and to really focus on just your lane. Do not compare yourself to others. This is another issue that a lot of individuals get stuck in. You look over at the next lane, you look to the right and the left, and you say, oh, well, this person's getting those results and that person's getting those results. So therefore, something must be wrong. You must just focus on the actions you're taking, the progress that you are making, and the garden that you are growing. Okay? So instead of thinking, how long is it going to take for me to get results? Because I know that a lot of you have that thought. How long is it that it's going to take me? It's understandable to ask yourself that question. It's understandable you'd have it. But also, maybe it's more beneficial to ask yourself, how is it you're going to enjoy the process and the learning and the growth? Like, what is exciting you about the process instead of just the outcome? Because the more attached that you are to the outcome, ironically, the less likely you are to achieve it. Now, sometimes people get this confused, especially coaches, because you think, aren't you supposed to keep yourself focused on the outcome you want? It is important to definitely have a compelling vision and have a lifestyle. I call it the future self. Like, you have your future self that's out there living the lifestyle you want to live, achieving all the goals that you wanted to achieve. But where it gets really tricky is when you get attached to how and when you're going to get there. I'll say that again. Where it gets really tricky is when you get attached to how and when you're going to get there, that you're going to meet up with your future self and get all those results. You must fall in love with the process. So you get excited about the vision, but you're also detached from the how and the when. You're excited about the vision. You're so excited because you believe in yourself, you trust in the process, you trust in yourself, but you're also detached on how you're going to get there and when you're going to get there. Now, I know some of you might freak out when you hear that and go, but how long is it going to take? Here's the irony of this. When you release your attachment to how you're going to get to the result and when, like the timeline of when it's going to happen, ironically, you end up getting faster results because you believe in yourself more. You believe in the process more. You believe in what's ever greater or beyond yourself. And when you have that belief in yourself, you feel so much more assured and confident and relaxed. And that causes you to take consistent action because you're not so tense and you're not constantly spiraling in anxiety and you're not wasting your time comparing yourself to others. So you release your attachment to the outcome. You're still excited about the vision of where you're going to be, but you're no longer attached to how and when you're going to get there. You fall in love with the learning and the growth. So instead of thinking, how long is it going to take me? When am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? You think, how am I going to enjoy the process? What am I excited to learn? Who am I looking forward to become in this journey? I love that question. That's one of the greatest gifts of entrepreneurship and one of my favorite things about the journey for me. It hasn't been all of the money that I've made. That's been amazing. I'm definitely not going to deny that. It's been amazing. But what's really been the thing that sits with me and has the biggest impact on me and fulfills me the most is the person I've been able to come in this process and the people that I've been able to serve. So what if, whatever goal you have right now, you think, what would it look like for me to play the long game here? Like, how would it look different if instead of being attached to getting fast results, instant gratification, or feeling entitled to getting results because I want it, what if I focused on the long game? What would that look like for you? Right? Think about how this is going to transform the way you show up. What consistent small actions can you commit yourself to taking to move you 1% closer instead of thinking you have to be all or nothing? So when you can embrace this idea of playing the long game, it's a complete game changer. It transforms your entire life. This has been one of the most important concepts that has helped me navigate times in my life where I've wanted to give up and I've wanted to quit. I remind myself that this is why I'm here though. I'll leave you with this. It's sometimes a joke I have with students in the academy, and they ask, well, how long is it going to take before I get my next client or my first client? How long is it going to take before, X result happens? I say, well, where else do you have to be? I would tell myself this question when I'm upset about it. Do I have somewhere else that I need to be or want to be? And then I realized, no, like this is the game that I want to play. I want to be in this arena. I want to play this game. And you're not playing the game to win. You're playing the game to play, right? As I talked about in the beginning of this episode, you're playing to play, not to win, right? That's what makes it fun and rewarding and fulfilling. So if you're concerned about, well, when is this going to happen? Where else do you need to be? The way I would answer that myself is I'd say, well, I mean, I don't want to be working this draining, soul-sucking 9-to-5 job where I'm working for, a really unappreciative boss or team and doing work I'm not really passionate about. Like, I definitely don't want that life. So that puts things into perspective to realize, even though it's hard at times, this is the game I'm choosing to play. And this is the game I want to play, not to win, but just to play. Right? Because it's going to be uncomfortable over there. It's going to be comfortable over here. No matter what path you take in life, there's going to be discomfort. And I believe you might as well choose the path that's going to get you to be the person that you want to be and live the life that you want to live. It's going to require effort no matter what. Right? Extraordinary results in life require effort. But that doesn't mean it's not worth it. It is always worth it. I believe any meaningful pursuit in our life is going to require effort. So when it feels hard, when it feels like you want to give up, when it feels like you are struggling, just recognize and honor it's part of the game. It's natural to have its ups and downs, and any extraordinary results in life requires effort, right? And I'd rather move in the direction that has the discomfort, that's going to help me create the life I want to live and make the contribution I want to make, than the alternative, which is living in fear and living in comfort and staying stuck and having regrets. So that's what I have in this episode on playing the long game. Before I go, a couple quick reminders. The tuition for Thriving Coach Academy is going up January 1st of the new year. So if you have been on the fence, if you've been considering enrolling, or even if you're brand new to this podcast and you are looking to level up your game as a coach and level up your business, head over to our website. We have a completely redesigned curriculum page that outlines everything, all the concepts and skills that we teach, the exact process that we have of training coaches. It's a proven process we've been using for years. It has been a process that my team and I have worked on so intensely. And it's been incredible to see our coaches thrive over the years. So we teach you how to not just become an amazing coach, but also how to grow a business. We teach you the art of coaching and the business of coaching all under one roof. So before the tuition goes up, so you get to take advantage of the lowest the tuition will ever be, head over to our website to learn exactly how to enroll. And we'd love to celebrate you in the Academy and make 2024 an amazing year for you as you pursue your coaching goals. Let's do this. So excited. Those of you listening, let's get you in on the inside. Thanks for listening to this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.